The 21-story building collapse, which has claimed 15 lives and still counting, according to authorities, has continued to generate several mixed reactions from Nigerians. To give more updates on the situation, let's now cross over to our correspondent, Mary Kano, who is currently at the site of the collapse. Thank you so much, Mary, for joining us. Now, could you tell us, is there any updates so far as to what you've learned on the collapse building?
All right, thank you, Folashade. Well, the update we have now is that about 15 bodies have been recovered from the site, while about 9 people have been rescued so far. Earlier, we had the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Kili Baba, who also came to the scene of the collapse, and he, according to him, the perpetrators of, those who constructed the building with inferior materials would be brought to book. He also sympathized with those who lost their relatives, their loved ones at the collapse of the building right here on Gerald Road. That's just the latest development. Well, another thing is the Lagos State Governor has suspended the general manager of the head of a building control in Lagos State. So these are the only things that have changed so far.
Now, Mary, with regards to the surrounding building, as the authorities said anything with regards to that? Have there been statements as regards if those other surrounding buildings could pose a threat to those who are presently at the site of the collapse?
Repeat your question, please.
Yeah, Mary, if you could hear me, I asked if the authority has said anything with regards to some of the buildings still standing around the site of the crash. Have they made any statement to say if or not such buildings would be looked into officially?
All right, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Hamzat, he was also here earlier on in the day, and according to him, a structure integrity test will be carried out on the other 2 buildings that are directly opposite the building, or beside rather the building that collapsed. And according to him, once the buildings are certified to not be fit for inhabition, they would also be pulled down. So that is all he said on the other 2 buildings.
Now, before I let you go, Mary, let me find out from you. 15 people have so far been confirmed dead. So far, have we had any updates on the number of people who have been rescued alive?
Yes, the number right now is at 9. Although we've had relatives of those who are possibly buried under the rubble come out, agitated, protesting that they be allowed into the site of the collapse. According to them, their relatives are also calling out to them from underneath the rubble, and they were agitating to be allowed into the premises, into the compound. Right now, the figure is at 9, and that's all we know for now.
Now let's talk about the security situation around there. You made mention of the fact that some of the relatives of those who are trapped underneath this rubble are trying to get in contact with their loved ones. You said earlier that you spoke to some of them. Could you paint a picture of what the atmosphere is like around there?
Folashade, I'm afraid you'd have to repeat the question, please.
Now, Mary, if you heard me clearly, I asked what the situation is like over there, the atmosphere, the relatives of those who are trapped in this rubble. How would you describe the general atmosphere of that area?
Outside, I'm afraid, Folashade, can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Well, the relatives are gathered outside the building. They have not been allowed into the compound where the collapse occurred. They've been barred from going in. Even the media, no one is allowed apart from the rescue agencies and relevant authorities, who are the only ones allowed into the building. So every other person, both eyewitnesses and those who generally just want to know what is going on in there, are all gathered outside at the compound and waiting to probably be allowed in, or at least to get latest updates on what is going on in. Their relatives are outside, they are not allowed in. They're also agitating to be allowed into the compound. So that's the current situation on ground for Lashadi.
Now, Mary, before I let you go, let's talk about the security situation around there. The IGP made mention of the fact that it would ensure that all security operatives, or basically security, is kept at maximum at that site. Are you seeing a situation where there could be, a chaos generally in that area?
With the relevant security agencies around, we have the police, we have the soldier, we have the army right here. There hasn't been any security breach so far. Everything has been kept under control. Even when it seems like it's about to go out of control, everything is put in place by the security agents, and so far they've been doing well by keeping people outside and maintaining peace around this area.
Well, thank you very much, Mary, for bringing us that update on the site of the 21-story building that collapsed last Monday.